Hey guys, it's Bunny, and welcome to today's video and welcome to another WWE reaction. Mr. DXZ recommended a video. Hey Bunny, I think I have two awesome suggestions that you should react to. Top 10 wrestlers whose promos got way too real and 10 wrestlers who got legitimately pissed in an interview. The first one I have already reacted to. A lot of you have been asking me to do it, and this is the second video. And this video is by Wrestling Flashback, 10 wrestlers who got legitimately pissed in an interview.
Say it again! I dare you to say it again! Randy. Call me Flash.
Randy's so huge.
I will headbutt your teeth through your skull.
Historically, it was rare to see
God,
wrestlers
I don't
being
want Randy
interviewed
to
on
scream at
widespread
me
media,
like that
unless it was
ever.
tied to controversy.
No one would believe me if I came through with this 7 years ago.
We had consulted with Mr. McMahon about the advance immediately. He'd just been denying everything. I didn't wait 1 minute.
Such controversy usually led to some eye-opening interviews, a number of which we'll be highlighting today.
You're just so big, and you come out of the world of pro wrestling.
We're done. I have never failed a f***ing drug test.
I injected Hogan with steroids.
Oh my God.
Many times. Many times. A dozen Hundreds of times. Hundreds.
As we cover 10 of the wildest mainstream wrestling interviews.
And now, we'll be right back after this word from you-know-who.
Before we start, I'm happy to announce today's list is appropriately sponsored by Surfshark VPN. Surfshark is an app and browser extension that basically swaps the real location of your device so you can access the internet as if you were actually in that country. This way, you can virtually travel to any country around the globe. Now, for us WWE fans, having a reliable VPN is more important than ever in today's day and age. Given that I'm from the UK, I'm still using the WWE network to get my fix of WWE. However, when I travel to the US or Canada, I'm not able to log into my account and watch all things WWE. I'm constantly denied access as it's no longer available in those regions. This used to be such a pain, especially when there was a premium live event going on and I was away. However, Surfshark provides me with a great solution. At the simple click of a button, I'm able to hop onto a UK server where the network can be accessed so I don't have to miss a thing. It's available on every major platform, so simply jump on a server in your region and enjoy watching. And not only that, having a VPN provides a tremendous amount of other benefits, including keeping your online identity safe by encrypting all the information sent between your device and the internet. This keeps your personal data protected from big companies or cyber criminals. And if that isn't good enough for you, and you're not sure if having a VPN is worth it, well, you can try it risk-free for 30 days with a money-back guarantee. Get my exclusive Surfshark deal. Enter promo code FLASHBACK
I used
to get
the
6 additional
NordVPN,
months
but lately,
for free
like,
at
I'm really mad at it.
surfshark.deals/flashback.
It's like
There's a link
ruining
in the
my
description
internet
below where you
connection
can
for
also
some
get a huge
reason.
discount on your Surfshark VPN plan to get up to 6 additional months for free. That's surfshark.deals/flashback. Thanks again to Surfshark VPN for sponsoring this video. Now on to the list. One way to upset wrestlers in an interview is by questioning if the sport they do is real. This question and one similar to it have been asked in a few different mainstream interviews.
How much of wrestling is fake?
Zero.
None at all?
Nothing.
I broke so many people's thumbs because I would explain to them, you know, listen, you can't see pain, you can only feel it.
I think this is fake.
You think it's fake?
Oh,
Is that fake? You think it's fake?
They say this
my
wrestling
God.
is not for real. You act or the
Does that fucking feel fake, huh? Does that feel fake?
But for this entry, we're going back to 1999 when
they
the stars
really
of
get pissed when somebody says it's fake. I know like the struggle, because people who are not into WWE and don't know like that in and outs of it, are not like watchers as well, like not fans. At the first glance, you would be like, yeah, this is fake. Like a lot of people would say that, but what they don't understand is that there is the reality of it, the entertainment, the show part of it. Of course, a lot of the moves that they have to do need to be safe. And if they were not faking these moves, in reality, that person would be dead today and not with us, you know. But other than that, everything you see there is real, and like you have to be professional, you have to be a good wrestler, you have to be a sportsman to be able to perform what they do. And they do risk their life every day when they are on stage for our entertainment. So you can't just say it's fake. Like when you say it's fake, you're literally discrediting everything they have put into it, and that is mean. That is beyond mean. mean.
CW appeared on Bill Maher's Politically Incorrect show. Maher started the interview off on a bad tone, as he archaically raised suspicions over wrestling's legitimacy.
People know that you're not really beating each other up.
Okay, we got a long...
This stuff right there.
The wrestlers shut Bill down straight out.
You're telling me that you're really hitting each other?
When a metal chair cracks your back, that's not fake.
With
Yeah,
one
you
pipe
can
in
fake
particular
that.
Putting Maher firmly in his place.
I read farce on his shirt.
Metal hip. See that wrist? 7 years it's been broken. Owen Hart, dead. Why don't you go tell Mrs. Hart what a joke it is?
Maher then shifts gears, saying how the violence in
And the
wrestling
injuries
sets a bad
taken.
example for audiences, to which Bobby the Brain Heenan responds with a fun point.
How about Popeye cartoons? Here's a guy that doesn't speak English well, rips open a can of spinach, then knocks out a big guy. That's how they end the show.
Maher concludes the segment with a new appreciation for wrestling he clearly didn't have before.
You know what? You guys have me. I don't know what's real and what's not in it. Take a break. We'll be right back.
Michael Landsberg
At least he
posted some
took it
great
nicely.
out-of-character wrestling interviews on TSN's Off the Record in the late 90s and early 2000s.
Would you do what Deborah does?
Which is,
Puppies?
as my father put, that I heard, I'm not quite as built as Deborah is.
They're just smaller puppies, that's all.
But thank you. You don't have to elaborate.
They're cute.
Examples include when Hulk Hogan and Mick Foley...
You're the
took shots
brother.
at each other in
What are you
separate
talking
interviews.
about?
I would probably say I've trained more in the last week than Mick Foley's trained in 30 years. I went ahead while Mick Foley was sleeping and eating cheeseburgers and M&Ms. I was in the gym working out.
I think if Hulk Hogan were to have wrestled me, he would sound more or less like a whiny girl in a porno film saying, not so fast and not so hard, because he didn't like the contact.
One of Landsberg's
I like
best
the thing
interviews-
that you don't understand, like just because somebody looks like he has so much muscles and 0% fat doesn't mean that he is a better wrestler than someone who just purely looks like he's chubby or he's fat. You know, like there's techniques that are building, there is strength, pure strength that has nothing to do with it, how you look. Like we misjudge how people look like and how strong they are based on how they look like.
Was with CM Punk after Punk had agreed to fight in the UFC.
I hope you don't find this disrespectful, but have you actually taken a real punch?
You're going to ask me if I've ever taken a real punch in the face?
Yeah.
You obviously hadn't seen some of the guys I was wrestling in the WWE.
Landsberg poked fun at Punk to
So
try and get the
mean.
Chicago native to fire back,
Say
given the
that.
Second City Saints'
Joe
outspoken
Rogan.
reputation.
Are you kind of pissed off with the questions that I've asked?
They're very wrestling centric, and I'm here to talk about UFC. You have an agenda. It's okay.
Oh, I don't have an agenda, but I mean, what am I going to ask you about UFC? You're not a UFC fighter. You don't have a fight scheduled.
It seemed to work as Punk ultimately called out Landsberg for how the host was behaving.
You try to be friendly. You try to act like you're my friend, and then when you get me on camera, you try to act like the cool kid in school. So you want to play innocent and defensive when you're not on camera, and then when you get on camera, you want to act like you're hot.
Tell him.
Landsberg in turn threw shade at Punk for drinking coffee outside the interview as the segment came to a close.
And it is disrespectful somewhat to be drinking coffee or tea while you're in the middle of an interview. I don't know if you do that all the time.
Why?
But I would
If somebody wants to take a sip, I literally always, when I'm reacting to videos, I'm like, okay. It just makes me happy. And like my throat gets dry. Like sometimes have to do that. That's a natural, normal thing people do. Why on an interview you need to be a robot and you don't do what? Like, you're not gonna go and poop and get a fart in an interview, but come on, drinking coffee?
Awake on TSN. I need my caffeine.
Next, we'll look at a case where a wrestler felt
awake,
he was asked to
brother.
appear on a show under false
Nice
pretenses. As
answer.
Diamond Dallas Page was interviewed on Nancy Grace in 2014 to talk about the sudden death of the Ultimate Warrior. Instead of celebrating the Warrior's life, which DDP believed he was going on the show for, Nancy tried to connect the Warrior and other wrestlers' premature deaths to steroid usage.
He's admitted
So
that he
mean.
used
Yeah,
steroids.
back in the day, a lot of we all used them back in the day, but
Whoa. No, we didn't all. I've never used a steroid. Why do so many die at such a young age? I mean, you've got to take into account the steroids and drugs.
Well, for starters, I think you got to look at where it is today.
On Sam Roberts' SiriusXM show, Page later noted how
I don't
upset he
know.
was after being set up by Grace.
That's mean. Like, if you're gonna take someone's death to just put that agenda out there, that is so mean, because I am sure that person doesn't gonna be remembered just as a person who died because of steroid uses. Plus, like, did the doctor say that? Did anyone say, hey, he died because of that? No. It could be a cause, but it doesn't have to be. And are we gonna like celebrate the career and the life of a great wrestler like that? That's mean. That is so, especially bringing another wrestler or another person that wants to talk about and celebrate the life and the career of a late person. Like, damn.
So pissed.
How far into the interview did you realize, ugh?
Oh, pretty quickly. She started talking about the steroid scandals and blah, blah, blah. Like, wait a minute, that was 25 years ago.
What do you do after the show? Like, what do you do once the segment's over and she goes, well, thank you, Dallas, for joining us?
But I know I said something in a way of like, go fuck yourself, but I didn't say that.
Sam Roberts later addressed the false claims made by Nancy during his interview with her.
Steroids weren't involved in the Ultimate Warrior's death.
No, they were not.
A lot of wrestlers see your report and come back at you with venom, saying you're not representing us, you're not telling our story, and this what you're portraying isn't what's happening.
And I'm sorry they feel that way. I really don't know what else you want me to say.
Something Grace didn't take kindly to.
You haven't asked one decent question since I walked in here. Everything both of you have asked has been an attack. I think our time is up. Bye-bye.
Take care. You can leave if you want. Don't worry, we're not going to kill ourselves after the interview.
Thanks, guys.
The Benoit family.
So mean. So mean. I don't know why he said that comment. Was it about a wrestler who killed himself or something? Like, oh my God, you bring someone there. I'm mad. I am mad. If that happened to me, I'll be so mad.
The tragedy was also linked to steroid use, leading to a who's who of wrestlers appearing on mainstream TV to discuss the events of what transpired and the possible motive.
Chris Benoit did not do it because of steroids.
He was given 4 months off. For what anybody wants to say, if he had any problems, he could have taken care of them in those times. He could have asked for help. If he chooses not to ask, there's nobody else can help him.
As you sit here and deny that you've ever seen any sort of kind of roid rage, which also seems to kind of stretch credibility, but what if in fact that it does come back?
Have you ever taken steroids?
That it was because of steroids. Then
I'm asking you, have you ever taken steroids?
No, I have not taken steroids.
And she can prove it because I don't think you get that muscular thing. Thank you very much, Kevin, for being with us.
I'm just saying, you're doubting my credibility. I've taken them and I haven't seen it.
All right, so we thank you very
much.
I know
that's not what you want to hear.
Sure.
Yeah, that's why they want to stop him.
Interrupting me for a second.
What's the question?
Why don't you sit here and keep interrupting me like this?
Did you ever take steroids? Ever?
It was a topic that caused much debate and led to various wrestlers getting big heat with WWE due to their comments.
If he was using steroids, he had passed the drug test, so maybe he injected steroids the day before he died. I don't think the toxicology reports are actually going to prove anything.
Vince McMahon is happy to put his trademark on you and own you. You know, I think he hasn't taken enough responsibility. And from what I know of him as a person, he's not been a very kind gentleman that deserves my respect, I'll tell you that.
I think Vince needs to definitely enforce the drug policy more than what he's doing.
Vince McMahon has got to show character, step up to the plate, and admit there's problems in the world of professional wrestling and do something about it, or we're going to start seeing hearings on Capitol Hill.
Including a number of former talent and even one current star that came out of the woodwork to weigh in on the matter.
It's easier to say or point out the number of guys that aren't doing steroids than those that are. The drug test is a ruse. It's an artifice designed specifically for these sensationalized, high-profile tragedies.
It's disingenuous to say that you don't believe that there is suspected steroid use within the wrestling community.
No, I didn't.
And use of taking. Well, what are you saying then, sir?
I didn't say that.
Vince McMahon has certainly given some unique interviews over the years.
I mean, I do feel a bit sorry for Vince to take all the heat on the steroid use or abuse, because at the end of the day, he cannot control every single wrestler and their choices. He can reinforce whatever kind of laws in the company, but that doesn't mean that there is roundabouts and there are people who can still abuse it. But when you are like, especially if a wrestler dies and then they put your face as the person who is causing that, like it is hard. That must have been really tough time for Vince McMahon. He got good times, he got bad times.
Discussion with Playboy magazine.
He alludes to his mother sexually assaulting him. He alludes to being molested when he was 6.
Vince also has a history of getting riled up during interviews with the mainstream media.
They were part of your organization. They worked a couple of hundred nights a year for you. They lived this lifestyle.
Oh my God. These individuals worked for our organization at one time. They also work for other organizations.
But perhaps Vince's most famous TV interview was conducted by Bob Costas on HBO in 2001, where Costas went in on McMahon over the failure of the XFL.
If you could be guaranteed that it would increase ratings, would you fix the games?
What a ridiculous statement.
Costas also lamented the WWF's raunchy storylines and their depiction of women.
Crotch grabbing, people grabbing their crotches, pointing in that direction and saying, suck it. 11 and 12-year-old kids in the audience.
The conversation was incredibly heated, with Vince losing his cool over Costas constantly interrupting.
These things don't happen. They haven't happened.
You want to let me finish here for a second, pal? Coach, shut your mouth and let me answer the question, all right? I'll be happy to answer.
I can back up and look timid. Or when he comes forward, I can come forward. And you notice there, I didn't really say anything, but I smiled at him. And that made him angry or
of course if you smile at someone who's pissed.
If he were only about 6'3", you would kill him.
A calmer Vince was interviewed again by Costas a year later, this time with the XFL dead and the WWF now called WWE.
He says McMahon likes to pretend that his product is sports entertainment, but it's really more of a violence variety show filled with state-of-the-art gay bashing, gang violence, spousal violence, woman-on-woman violence, sometimes in vats of pudding, and violence against animals.
McMahon nearly got into it with Costas, but our next example goes one step further. We're talking about when Abdullah the Butcher was being interviewed on Canadian daytime TV in 2009. Abdullah proceeded to put his hands on presenter Derek Fage, with Abby cutting Derek's forehead till it bled by using a fork and plate. The attack was planned ahead of time where wrestler Hannibal would make the save. What wasn't agreed upon was Abdullah making the host bleed. Legal action was taken against Abby as a result of the incident.
Thank you.
I didn't give him permission to cut me. I didn't have to be hospitalized, but he certainly surprised me on the show. We wanted him to replace my suit, and we tried to contact his people and never heard back.
Our next interview also includes physicality, but is much more lighthearted, as Chris Jericho appeared on TNT's Inside the NBA to promote AEW Full Gear 2019, with a ring being set up in the studio. Shaquille O'Neal and Charles Barkley were the real stars of the segment, however. Shaq tried multiple times to get at Barkley, before eventually succeeding, leading to a hilarious exchange.
Jericho looks like a baby next to him.
That's the last time
What was the guy with the bow tie?
That's always the last time I saw Shaq, that belt fit.
Oh shit.
Come to AEW, we'll pay you
This is
millions
fun.
Jericho was simply an onlooker as Kenny Smith and host Ernie Johnson also got in on the action. Former $1 Million champion and NWO member Virgil gained a career resurgence in the 2000s by hustling fans at conventions and autograph signings.
You would recognize it more if it was on his back like that.
Virgil began to embrace his money-loving persona online, which included appearing on Sam Roberts' SiriusXM radio show from New York. Virgil had numerous outlandish appearances on the show, where he said crazy things.
Where do I go? I still like to show this tight ass right here. Look.
Yeah, all right, he's showing off his ass again.
I wrestled with guys they call Dwayne Johnson, Rock.
You never
guys
wrestled.
like Steve Austin.
You did not. Yes, he did. He wrestled the Rock.
Did not
yes,
wrestle
he did.
the Rock.
Yes, he did. Did you make a horse noise?
I don't think that's a pissed off person.
My foot by my size 14 so deep in your ass, and then I'll shove this 14-inch dick in your mouth. Gobble, motherfucker, gobble.
Flirted with women.
Hey.
Come closer, he said.
Your shoe size is 14 and a half.
Brother.
And length of your penis is also
Identical.
Same size.
So you can get that foot in your ass or that penis in your mouth. Which one you want?
And even performed his own song.
Fuck money, baby. Fuck money, baby. Green and black. Green and black. Like my skin is green and black. Fuck money, baby.
While Virgil's flirting was wild, it was nothing compared to the stuff John Cena said he got up to with women. When the WWE champion was interviewed on Howard Stern in 2006, Cena talked about how he once got frisky with 6 women.
It was me and 6 other girls. That's
Get the hell out of
And
here.
you were able to handle all
Hell no,
6?
I wasn't able to handle all 6. That was just too much.
Oh my god, I love their
had the best night of
interviews
his life
with
with 2 strippers.
Beetlejuice.
But it was every possible position that I wanted. Every
Best blowjob of your life?
Absolutely.
I believe it.
Absolutely.
But perhaps the most crazy thing John spoke about was the time he got it on with a
Imagine being his
280-pound woman.
First, it was kind of a challenge set out to me by the entire roster, and it was like it was a
No
thing where you
way
want to
they
do it.
challenged him?
I'll enjoy it, and I did. It was a great night.
Cena went into detail after the host continued to probe him for more information.
Because everybody can tell a story about the hot ones. It takes a man's man to tell a true story about what really happened. It really does.
John was also asked about Chris Kanyon, who'd recently been on Stern in the weeks prior. Kanyon's appearance was infamous after he claimed Vince McMahon was a homophobe who fired Chris because he was gay.
Had me dress up as Boy George. Built a closet in the middle of the ring. Had me come out of the closet, and The Undertaker beat the shit out of me.
Do you really wanna hurt me?
Cena refuted these claims, saying Kanyon was released because he wasn't a good enough sports entertainer. Ric Flair was even more ruthless than Cena when Rick confronted
That's the
Kanyon
thing,
over
like,
the phone.
they take it too personal a lot of times, the wrestlers, and then they take an agenda to just ruin someone's name and say that's the reason I've been fired. They don't just want to admit that they were not good enough. Sometimes they're just not good enough. Rhonda, not good enough.
A week following Chris's initial appearance on Stern.
I'm disappointed in Chris as a person. I've known him a long time, that he would blame his shortcomings on something that's going on in his personal life.
WWE, even though
you as a person, as a man, for blaming your choices in life on the business.
That's not a choice.
There have been plenty of other notable wrestler interviews on Howard Stern, which are infamous due to the situation Stern puts his guests in.
Stern,
and you cannot have anal sex with a woman because you're too big, right?
Oh, please.
That's a yes.
Yeah.
She got a vagina, right? And that's God-given. You have a birth certificate to prove it, right,
Yeah,
China?
but sometimes I wish I had a penis so that you guys could suck it.
Right on. I want to talk to you about Playboy and the pictures, and I have questions for you about your pubic hair. I have a lot of questions.
Oh, there are questions?
Yeah. How about you get in bed with me and give me sexual intercourse? So you're married.
Excuse me?
I don't want.
Oh, 2 years from now, we'll be having the same interview we
It's going to be a great interview. I can't wait to hear it. Well, you know, Howard, things went wrong.
Something to talk about. We've been there a few times.
Just an ass shot. You got a great ass.
You got a great
You
ass.
got a
But we
great
still
ass.
pleased with
You're
something.
doing lingerie wrestling matches.
Your mother.
Hey, now, how's it going? What's going on?
Oh my God.
Were you a sex addict, would you say?
I don't know.
All guys are sex addicts.
Yeah, I think so.
Other examples include when Stephanie McMahon was asked about the ins and outs of her relationship with Triple H.
Has Triple H tried to give you anal?
I'm sure he'd like to.
He'd like to, but you won't go there.
I probably will at some point.
When Goldust came on after contracting Tourette's
Oh my
due to being
God.
electrocuted.
All they know is some kind of some neurological disorder, you know.
And then you got electrocuted up your butt?
Grand Canyon. Who? You were like, I
There's
guess.
no
sort of
way
gay.
that's real.
Really?
And you used to have crushes on other wrestlers, like you had a crush on Razor Ramon.
Wait a second.
Well, maybe the electrocution was a good thing.
And we can't forget whenever the
What?
Iron Sheik would stop by.
Bitch, cunt, I'm a legend. Before that jabroni, and I put my 10-inch cock in your fucking ass.
The Sheik was known to trade verbal jabs with Whack Pack regular Beetlejuice.
Oh my
Hello?
God.
Hey, sound like a fucking crybaby. what happened last time when a guy beat your ass and when he flipped your ass?
Would knock you the fuck out.
I'm not afraid of this, but
I would knock you the fuck out, boy.
Now, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to check out
It
our
was just
similar
the best.
video on 10 dark moments that WWE.
Like, it started with real pissed interviews to like really funny and fun interviews. I love the video. Although, like, a bit misleading because pissed ones were at the start and then later on was just fun. Let's check some of the comments. Calling wrestling fake is an insult to all the wrestlers that have lost their careers to injuries and those that have lost their lives in the business. Exactly. Where are the injuries? Like, if it's fake, it's like a movie and, you know, like you have a stuntman or whatever. Like, why? Then it's fake. Like, why are they injured? Roddy Piper's response to Bill saying, why don't you go tell Mrs. Hart about Owen's death is the best response ever. The media really squandered the Benoit tragedy by focusing so much on steroids and roid rage rather than Benoit's repeated head trauma. It also came out later that Benoit had not been right in the head for a long time, maybe even predating wrestling. There you go. I haven't seen the documentary yet. I haven't got into this whole drama because it is a really heavy topic and I really need to be like in a specific mindset to go there because I know that that's gonna mess me up for like days to come and I need to perform every single day. Yeah, it's gonna be a really hard time, but I really would like to get into it one day. That is it, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to leave a like and subscribe for more and see you tomorrow with a brand new one. Bye. Have a lovely day.